Yo, oh my God. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Ramblin' Radio, number 94. 6 more episodes till we get to 100. Should I do something? Let me know. I don't know. It's exciting times. Appreciate you being here. We got a lot to talk about. I'm going to try to condense these as much as I possibly can so that it's not too long, unless, I don't know, you like them to be an hour. The guest episodes, whenever we have a guest, I like to make that as free-flowing and as long as I think it needs to be. But for the solo ones, I don't like it to be too long, but let me know. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any opinion, whether I should go long, short, if you like the kind of the pace and things that I'm doing right now, I would love some feedback. So let me know. Before we dive into just shit that I got to say that I think is really going to help you out. A lot of stuff's been going on behind the scenes. Wix and I, we're getting sick of LA. We're getting sick of LA. And I think we're gonna move. I think we're gonna move sooner than we thought. We knew we weren't gonna be here forever. But just as time keeps passing by, the more it doesn't feel like a home. And so we've been talking and thinking about what we are going to do. And that's really all I'm going to say. And we had a little bit of an incident. Nothing crazy, but we outside of our apartment there was a situation where a guy had a gun and was kind of like flailing it around, and all the cops came, and it was just kind of like a hectic thing, and nothing bad happened. The cops took care of the issue and whatnot, but it was just like another thing added to our list of like why LA doesn't feel so homey right now, if that makes sense. But it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to move because I love LA so much. I think it's going to be harder for me to move than Wix. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'll keep you in the loop and let you guys know what we end up doing. But we're thinking Scottsdale right now. We really like Scottsdale. And we're getting ready for the Creators Blueprint launch. Creators Blueprint is opening August 23rd, I believe. Let me check. August 23rd. Yeah. August 23rd, we're opening the Creators Blueprint, and that's going to be open until the 27th. So we're only opening it up for 5 days, and then that's it. And then Wix and I are going to go to Scottsdale. We're going to meet up with our friends, Catherine and Brennan, and we're going to have just a nice vacation. It's my birthday the following weekend. And so we're going to have all of our Creators Blueprint members come in, and we're going to celebrate the launch, and then celebrate my birthday and have some fun and look at some new places, some apartments, some houses. We were looking, oh my God, really quick. We were looking at apartments and even homes, and just looking at the rent that we pay here and then what we can get in Arizona. We were just like, what the hell? It's pretty wild. So anyways, that's what's going on in my personal life. If you care, I don't know. I know some of you guys do. Let's talk about what we got going on in this episode, because we got to get down to business. First things first, I've got a brand new free 3-day challenge. It's totally free. And this is really going to give you an inside look at what it takes to build something that's sustainable, right? If you've been part of my podcast, Instagram, all my content, you know that the freelancing stuff, creating content, like just think about it for a second. What is the end goal? What's the end game? And these are things that I started realizing a few years ago for myself. It's like, what am I doing here? What am I trying to build? And I know depending on how old you are, it depends, are you really thinking about like your future that much? Maybe not. But it's good to start thinking about it as soon as possible, because at the end of the day, just working with client after client after client, or just creating content to build more followers, like what are you building towards, right? Like with the freelancing stuff, like what does that ending look like? Are you just going to save money and just keep working for clients and then retire? And then with the followers, it's like, are you just going to keep creating content until and just, rely on sponsorships and do that whole thing? No, you gotta start a business. And it's not just a business though, because people start businesses all the time and they fail and they flop, and or even if they don't flop, they're working fucking all the time, 24/7. Like that's all they think about. And that's just bound to happen in the beginning. Like there's no shortcut there. Like you are the person, right? You're always going to be the asset. You're always going to be the asset. No matter how big your team gets, no matter how successful you get, it's going to come back onto you always. But in that beginning portion of it, you're going to be hustling 1,000%. Anybody says, even with like the way I talk about things, I say, you don't have to hustle and grind. And that's more of like the American culture of like what we are like constantly being fed on social media and things like that. You need to do it in the beginning. I don't think there's really any way around it, but your mission should always be, how can I get to doing the least amount of shit possible? The least amount of shit possible. That's the goal, because when you're doing the least amount of stuff, what's happening here? Well, you are doing only the things that you really like to do and that actually moves the needle forward, actually makes progress, right? And we're going to be talking about this stuff in the challenge. What makes progress versus what doesn't. Like stupid tasks like thumbnails and emails and branding, unless you really enjoy branding, because I know some of you do, including myself. But these things aren't actually moving anything forward. It's the stuff, whether you're working with clients, it's the networking, it's connecting, it's putting together a package that makes sense, whether it's with referrals or whatever. I totally lost my train of thought, and I just checked my camera, and I've got 30 minutes left on my memory card, so I gotta hustle now. Anyways, we're taught as a creative, as an entrepreneur, hustle and grind, et cetera, et cetera. But there needs to be a point, or from the very beginning, you're going to be hustling and grinding, but you should be thinking about as efficiently and as quickly as possible, how can I get to doing less? Because when you're doing less, you're making more, because you're focusing on the stuff that moves the needle forward, and all the other stuff that you're not doing is outsourced. You have a team, you have people helping you. And these are the things that are going to actually give you freedom. And we talked about in the last episode, like, just because you have a digital product, just because you have a retainer client that pays you, several thousand per month, whatever, you still have to press buttons. You still have to do. And so you're not going to obtain the freedom that you desire without a team, without automation, without structure, without like a process or a formula. And the reason why people don't do this is because, number one, as a creative, you feel like you have to have this sense of control, right? This is my work. This is my baby. This is my thing. And which is really just your lack of trust in other people. And you're not going to find, when you start outsourcing things, you're not going to find your perfect person once. I've gone through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I've gone through like 5 or 6 people. It's a process. Maybe nobody likes me. I don't know. No, but it's a dance. It's a dance of figuring out, okay, is this the role that you actually need to fill? Is this going to get the most off your plate? Is this the right person to do the job? Is this an A player? If you look at it that way, is this person like down to be coachable and learn and all that stuff? So are they that person? And then also, are you putting them in the right role? So it's those two things that you have to kind of coordinate and figure out. And it's a dance, and you have to be a coach, right? You have to coach these people that you bring on that are going to help you, because you can't just give them money and expect them to give you the result that you want. You can't just wipe your hands, call it a day. It takes effort. It takes work. It takes investment. And it's hard because you think that, oh my God, I'm paying this money and you're not getting the time back off your schedule, and you feel like, oh my God, it's not working. But you got to be patient with it. You got to continue to coach and give them your time and turn them into the person, the role, everything that you need them to be. And that takes time. It takes effort. People aren't willing to do that because I'm not sure, but I think because maybe you just don't know. Maybe you don't know it's supposed to take effort, right? Even if you're not a coach, right? Like, I'm a coach. This is what I do, right? But maybe you're not. You're not a coach. Maybe you're working on a different type of product or a service or whatever. You hire a team, you outsource, you work with people. You have to become a coach, right? That's just part of being an owner, the creative visionary. And that is the role that you have to fill. Or else you're never going to get the freedom that you want. Never. And you can't do it alone either. There's just so many things. There's so many things. You want to make $1 million, like, you will kill yourself if you try to do it by yourself. And I'm not at $1 million yet, but going towards that path, that's a very quick realization. I think people have done it. But then they post YouTube videos and Instagram posts saying, don't do what I did. That was awful. So I'm not doing that. I'm doing it a different way. And I don't know if this is making sense, but I'm going on a little tangent. But these are the things that we're going to be talking about in this challenge. What it really takes to build something that's going to future-proof you. That you are going to be able to work on instead of in, where you become more of the visionary instead of the constant doer. And on the first day of the challenge, we're going to be talking about the different roles that there are. You got the creative visionary, you've got the artist, you've got the content creator, you got the freelancer. And what are all these different roles? What are these types of characteristics? What do these people do, right? And we're going to be talking about who you need to become, aka sneak peek, the creative visionary, and what that looks like. And you're making all these decisions on a daily basis that's actually costing you money, that's hurting you. That's not helping you or supporting you. It's actually hurting you over and over and over again. And you compound that together and you're wondering why you feel stuck or you're not getting to where you need to go. If you want to fast track yourself, you become the creative visionary as fast as possible. And you embody that right now. So that's day one. And then we're going to talk about on day two what it looks like to build a service that you become known for. And we're going to be talking about a little bit about that today. And then day three, we're going to be talking about how to really turn this into a machine and start getting the freedom back and have this thing work without you having to be constantly doing all the time. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's gonna blow you away. Click the link in the bio in the description, sign up. We get started a week from today, and we got some amazing prizes. First place winner gets a fully paid scholarship for the Creator's Blueprint. So if you've ever wanted to be a part of my 12-week coaching program, we're selecting one person that shows up and does the work to get inside, fully paid, free. Number two, I've never done this before. I've never given this away for free, I should say. But the second winner gets to get on a one-on-one call with me, and I'm going to do an audit of your creative business, your personal brand, and tell you, in my opinion, what is working, what I think is working, what is not working, and get you on a path so that you have your breakthrough year, and get you set up for 2022. Because believe it or not, 2022 is like around the corner. And something even crazier that I was talking about with Wix the other day is I turn 30 next year. That's fucking scary. And it's just a number, and it shouldn't scare me at all, but it's just like, whoa. And as you get older, you think like, oh my God, I thought I would be further now. And that's a whole other mind game that I'm trying to fucking figure out on my own end. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an experiment from 29 to 30 and really dive into the role and the person that I want to be. We're always trying to be better. And I've got my own stuff that I need to improve on big time. And so I think from 29 to 30, I'm going to do an experiment where I really, really go all in on that as best as I can. So anyways, that's a little side note. So we get started a week from tomorrow. You can click the link down below in the description, in the notes, wherever you are, or go to www.zackkravitzcoach.com/freelance to freedom. Freelance to freedom. And we get started a week from today, excuse me. And each challenge day, there's going to be a lesson and then a challenge for you to complete. And that's how you're going to become eligible to winning one of the prizes. Oh, and the third prize I didn't mention is a business book bundle. My must-reads, books that have changed my life, both spiritually, mentally, and financially. So I'm going to send those out to you for free if you win third place. But that's the whole point. The whole point of this challenge, the whole point of this podcast is really to share with you why you need to start building something that is bigger than you, right? It needs to be bigger than you. And it's not just one strategy. It's not just one formula. It's not, we are always being fed. We go on Instagram, we go on social media, we go on YouTube. We've got all this incredible information, and people tell you, okay, use price anchoring. You gotta run Facebook ads. You gotta have a funnel. You gotta set up retainers. You need to cold call, or these email templates are gonna get you better leads, and we gotta do this, we gotta do that. All this stuff is great, and it's great information, and it's helpful information, but not just one thing is going to magically fix all of your problems and give you this incredible business that you get to just sit and be fat and happy and not have to do anything anymore. It's not like unlocking some secret passcode, right? There's no real secret sauce. It's really more so an entire meal. It's a recipe of things that need to work together seamlessly. And if you put all your eggs into one basket and try to do this one thing because somebody else said that that's the answer, you might feel yourself getting really disappointed. It's like it's the same as you trying to copy someone's formula. Like you see a new trend that emerges and you try to kind of recreate that for yourself, and you don't get nearly the views or the likes or the comments that person gets because they were the ones that came up with it. Like anybody that's like the clone or the copy, it never works as well as the person that initially came up with it because it works for them. What works for other people might not work for you. It all works at the end of the day. Ads work, funnels work, retainers are great, digital products are awesome. How you set up your digital products, networking, like it all works, right? All these little formulas and strategies and things work. I look at the strategies and the formulas as more of like a surface level thing. We need to go deeper and really see what's underneath the hood of what's going on with your business or how you're setting it up. And so that's what we're going to be covering. And there's a huge shift going on. And I don't know if you're seeing it or witnessing it, but all of your favorite creators coming out with services and programs. It's not just about freelancers, it's content creators too. All of your most popular, your favorite creators. You got Matt D'Avella with Slow Growth. You got Dan Mays coming out with a filmmaking course. Sam Colder has a filmmaking course. Full-time filmmaker has been out for a while. Captain Sinbad's coming out with, or he already came out with a YouTube program. All these different, and the list goes on and on and on. But just think about this for a second. I'm going to get really quiet. Think about this. Why are they doing this? Why are they putting these things out there? And even with Matt, like Matt created an entire brand, Slow Growth. It has nothing, it's not including his name. He's the face, and you need to, for a guy like him and its infancy, his service is so new that if he were to walk away from it, it would die, right? Because he's so big. He's such a big name in the YouTube space. But it's still, I can tell you right now, and I'm putting words in his mouth, so I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, so take this with a grain of salt. But I'm assuming he's trying to build something that doesn't need to involve him anymore, where he has people that teach and things like that, etc. Right? That's not the point. The point is why are these creators doing this? Why are your favorite content creators doing it? They're doing it because they're building something that is going to allow them to not rely on doing all the time. They're creating a model that allows them to scale something, that allows them to impact people, that allows them to create without having to rely on somebody else. They're taking full control, 100%. And so this is the entire point. You can do this as a content creator, you can do this as a freelancer, with your client work. How can you build something that's going to be bigger than you, that's going to allow you to walk away, not entirely, but potentially, maybe, and something that doesn't require you to depend on a platform, video views, a sponsor to continue making a living. This is what I want for you. And maybe you're thinking, well, I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't build this thing. I'm not as big as them. Yes, you can. And I hope that I am a great example of that, because I don't have, I have a fraction of the amount of followers and audience size that they have. And yet I'm able to create multiple six figures and build and continue to grow my business and create an amazing life for myself with a fraction of the views. Now, let's not bullshit. We just wrapped up the Creator's Blueprint, like from me creating Creator's Blueprint 2.0. And now I've got the time to focus on the next thing. And that, for me, that's growth. So now I'm trying to grow my audience. It's not just about building programs and working on the business, but also my content. How can I make better content? How can I get more people attracted to what I'm talking about and the things that I'm saying and why they're important? And so that's finally a focus of mine. It's really exciting. And so you've probably noticed that I've been putting a lot more stuff out there. Maybe not. So how can you do this, right? How can you build something that is going to be bigger than you? Well, very first thing that you need to do is you need to become the expert. We've talked about this. You need to specialize in something. And a lot of people, there's this argument, oh, do I niche down? Do I not niche down? We're going to be talking about this in the challenge, Freelance to Freedom. But I'll say this really quick, and maybe I mentioned this already in the last episode, but niching down is simply making the path have less resistance. You're making it easier for yourself. The more you niche down, the easier it's going to get. Does that mean you have to do it? No, you do not have to do that. You do not have to niche down, but you also can't be so generic that nobody knows what the fuck you're talking about. They don't know what you're saying. Let me just give you an example. I went on Instagram just now and I got a comment from someone. They just said, and I know I've got workshops and digital products and things like that, but this is business in general. This is business 101 for creatives, for anybody. This person said, I signed up because somehow you described everything that I'm going through right now. That is what you want. You want people that you are going to be working with. You want them to feel that you understand them. They want to feel understood. They care about feeling understood. And you do that by getting specific and becoming an expert in that area. And I'll give you a really good example of this. When I was working with clients, I was so focused on my skill sets. Like, how can I become the best filmmaker? I'm going to be better than everyone. I had a little bit of an edge back then. Like, I'm better than that person. I should be making more, right? I had a little bit of that. Maybe a lot of it. I don't know. And I remember I met this videographer who I thought, oh, this guy's all right. Like, nah, I'm better. Like, I think I had that thought in my mind. And then I found out that he worked with clients that paid him multiple 5 figures for projects. And I think at the time I think my highest client at the time was like $5,000 for something. I don't even remember. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing that I'm not doing? Like, how, like, I was just trying to like connect dots. Like, I feel like I'm more talented. I feel like I create more impactful shit. Like, I don't think this is like that amazing. Well, I realized that he specialized in an industry and got involved with the right people that paid him a lot of money to do a specific type of content, video production. For example, one of his clients is Tony Robbins. And so he's done promo work for Tony Robbins for a very specific thing. And Tony Robbins makes a lot of money, and that piece of content is very valuable to him. So when you connect all these dots, it makes sense. So my point in telling you that is, yeah, you can be generic, but you're just going to make it a little bit more difficult for yourself. You could still do it 100%. If you're going to be a little bit generic, you gotta specialize in some type of area. So like maybe like this person, you create this type of content for Tony Robbins, right? Which is like personal development stuff. So maybe instead of creating stuff for just personal development influencers and business owners and things, maybe you widen your net a little bit and you do something with just business owners in general, but your content is a specific type of content. Maybe there needs to be something that is specific, because when you are the type of creator that is just like, oh, I make really cinematic, dope stuff, I tell like great stories. Have you been on Instagram lately? Like, everybody fucking makes great stories and makes cinematic shit. Like, you have to do more than that. You have to do more. And I've said this before in my coaching and programs and stuff. Like, being better is not going to get you where you want to go. Being different is going to get you where you want to go a lot faster than being better. And I think the phrase is, different is better than better. So think about that. Different is better than better. So how can you be different? Well, you get specific and you become the expert. It's frustrating. And I've been in that place. And I don't know if you have, or maybe you're experiencing it now, like, oh, I'm more talented, I take better photos, I make better content. Great, but there's something that's not clicking, right? There's something off, right? And one of the best ways to make things click better for you is to talk to one person and really speak to them. Because if one person has that problem or needs that help, there's a great chance that a million other people need that same help. So that's what I'll say about that. And we've talked about this before as well. You, at some point, and I would start now, is becoming a problem solver, a legitimate problem solver, figuring out what your clients and customers really want and need, and what those desires are, and what those what do they want that's really tangible. And you speaking to that is going to get you a lot further than you just bettering your portfolio and trying to like make your shit more high quality, for example. So becoming the expert, branding yourself as that expert. What do you do? How do you do it? What's the tangible outcome that the people that you're working with want? How can you speak to that tangible outcome? You need to also see new opportunities. You need to be a master problem solver, but you also need to see the opportunity. Now, I'll give you an opportunity right now. TikTok, right? TikTok is just constantly seeing more and more people. It's like becoming the new Instagram. If I was creating for clients and brands right now, what I would be doing is I would be coming up with a new service, packaging it together that speaks to brands and shares with them why they need to be getting on TikTok. And you can just see the amount of brands that already are on TikTok, and coming up with some type of service that fucking crushes TikTok content. And if you don't even have a portfolio with those TikTok, you don't have like a TikTok portfolio per se, you could easily show what other brands are doing in TikTok and then share with that brand, like, I can do this for you and here's why you should be doing it, and going hard on that. People, I think that's going to be the future for a lot of brands, is how we need someone to take control of our TikTok account, and they're going to pay a lot of money for someone to do that. So how can you package something together? How can you become the TikTok person? Even if like that's not an area that you want to like really spend a lot of time in, or you want to do other things, like why not add it? I don't know. Why not add that to what you have going on already? How can you become that person for that and become the expert in that? And that's just seeing an opportunity. That's simply seeing an opportunity, seeing a problem, and creating a solution to that problem as a content creator, as a filmmaker, photographer, whatever. I've got like a minute left on my SD card, so I gotta wrap it up. And getting back to the client stuff, you know, when I started landing 5-figure clients for a project, right, I was always told that it was always a referral. And I was always told like, oh, you have this specific project. Oh, you're going to want to talk to Zack. He's the guy. So how can you become the guy or the gal for specific types of projects? What does that look like? I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to run it out on my SD card. Sign up for this free 3-day challenge. We're going hard. I think it's going to blow your mind. And if it doesn't, it's free. You got nothing to lose. Come on in. We got some dope prizes. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we get started August 17th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. They're all being recorded, and you'll have access to them until the 29th of August. Let's fucking go. And I think this might be the last one. This might be the last time I launch the Creator's Blueprint this year. It might be. So if you're thinking about it, get in this challenge. Creator's Blueprint's coming out August 23rd. And we're going to go hard for the rest of the year and get you set up to have your best year and fucking crush 2022. So with that being said, I'll see you in the challenge. I hope you enjoy this podcast. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.